In February 2022, we opened our showroom for the first time to the public, because we'd opened it a few times before then with the builders. So I just thought I'd give you a quick tour of the showroom and what's happened since then, I guess. Roughly we're selling about 1,000 cars a year, so that's a decent number of vehicles retail that we're putting on the road every year. Although last year was a lot tougher, I think it was for everybody. So just starting off in the showroom, this is our office. And when we moved in, the first thing is this wall did not exist. This wall did not exist, so this was just basically an extra little pocket for the showroom. And that wall and this wall were actually falling to bits. So the first job that had to happen is these walls had to be knocked down and rebuilt. And then we've obviously put that wall in with the glass with the door, and it's all been decorated, and the roof ceiling tiles have been changed. In the showroom itself, we didn't have to do a great deal with the layout. There was a stage there for a sex. It used to be a furniture shop for a while, and then each of these had a little partition wall to make a little room. So we got rid of all that, and then obviously we had to redo the whole ceiling, the new lighting, the new doors. All those 3 doors were replaced at the front, and it gives us a nice space now to show. And we've got some beautiful cars. Audi e-tron stands out, absolutely stunning. This Cupra is really cool. So we've got some lovely cars in here. Of course, we've got the Skywell. Don't forget the Skywell. And then when we first opened up, we actually used this area as a sort of sales area, and that area just as a waiting area. And we've just jiggled it round to be a bit more accommodating. So this is the customer area now. So we added the Pac-Man last year. This was another. This wasn't an office, so this was just another little section. So what happened when we moved in? We put this wall up, again the ceilings, new windows. We knocked through to here because this to create a storeroom and where we keep our keys. That's what we created there, and then obviously change this into a functioning office. This section now is sort of our sales area where, I don't know, the magic happens. But what this used to be is there used to be a doorway here, and this was then a run all the way through a little rabbit warren. And this was 2 little rooms, so there was a sort of a bowl and then a toilet. So that's all been knocked in. Lovely, nice bathroom. And because we'd knocked that run out, we were able to segregate into offices. So we've got an office there that would have backed onto the key room, but to make it more usable, we've got rid of that door. We're putting a nice kitchen. This was where the tunnel ran through, and that was a little storeroom in there. And the kitchen was horrendous. I've got a picture somewhere. The roof was down here where it was bowed down, and it was just awful. So new windows, brand new kitchen. We did pick the wrong kitchen because we didn't realise we'd picked a really expensive one, but we didn't know till we got the bill. So yeah, we put the kitchen in. There's new wiring, new lighting everywhere, and then that leaves us with a spare office. So this was a little parts office, I guess, back in the day when it used to be a larder garage. It's just a little tiny little office, and then this just leads through to the garage, which we are currently using just for storage. We have got plans for 26, and what we want to do is paint the floor, make it all nice, and put a big sign on the back there, so there'll be a nice little handover area, especially in the winter. So that's the showroom. And then this is the display area, I guess. We've got our signage up there. Another thing, when we moved in, we had to replace all the cladding. So all the cladding's been done, and all the camera systems, it's all been painted outside. We've fenced it all the way down that side next to the field. We've had to do a lot of groundwork underneath to sort the drainage out. We've had to do a lot of landscaping at the back to get it to where it is now. So we've got a nice little display. We've got a good inside area. Plenty of parking. Big thing for us to make sure we've got parking for our customers. That's always really, really important. Hence the customer parking signs. So yeah, we've got a nice place now to retail cars. and that started in February 22. We've got one new thing to show you that happened last year. And also in 2025, January last year, we got the franchise for Skywell, which is what I'm driving now. And it's exciting because at the moment there's this car in the range, there's a van to come later this year, and a small car which looks really cool, model 3 performance. But this car in itself is a fantastic example of what can be done at such a ridiculously low price. And what's happened this year in 2026 is this model year change now gives it all the ADAS functionality. It's got heated and cooling seats, so you've got all your safety, as well as the one thing that everybody was asking for was heated seats. So it's got heated and cooling, it's got memory access, ambient lighting, so it's a full package now. It literally has got, that's the speed warning, it literally has got everything. It's got this beautiful panoramic roof. It's the largest opening panoramic roof in its class. Fantastic build quality, great car, great range, does its range as well, which is unique for electric cars, does exactly what it's supposed to do range wise. So another thing that happened, that's the speed warning again, it's quite annoying. This is what people asked for. It didn't used to do this, and they've asked for this, and now it bings and bongs. But it's another example of something else that we've achieved since opening the showroom. And then the last thing we've done in recent times is behind me, which is the new service centre. So we have been through 2 previous units before, well, 3 previous units before this one. So we've had a unit for storage, a compound for storage, a unit for valet, and then a unit for which originally we used for storage, and then we had to turn that into the valet bay one was too small, so we renovated the big one, which we used as storage for valeting, but it just became too constrictive, too restrictive. There weren't enough room to, we just created a new word there, there weren't enough room to expand. We definitely couldn't put workshop in there, it was just valet. So we had to make a leap, and this was a big leap, so it was bigger than we definitely some bigger than what I planned to get. And we have, again, in the last 12 months, invested an absolute ton of money. So what have we done? Fencing, gates, security system, lighting, canopy, jet wash storage, cladding, doors. It's a lot. So this is these cars are either waiting to come in for a service or retail work, like the blue BMW, the Skoda, the Mercedes. They're all customers' cars, and then this Citroen's a customer's car. Then we've got a sold car, a stock car, a part exchange, so on and so forth. One of our loan cars. So we've got a lot of vehicles here at the moment. So when we did this work on this, obviously we put the sign up, brand new up and over door, because that was pretty. The old one was pretty, had it. Built this store for the jet wash, so we locked that on an evening. This was all overgrown to, I don't know, probably 9-10 feet tall, so that's all been dug out. That was Ash Property who did all that work for us, and Huey Construction did all the sort of building work, including the cladding, which looks super. And then inside we had to sort out all the lighting, all the electrics. So we've got a nice area here for valet, got an airline up there, heating and good lighting. And then going up the stairs, cracky, trouble with the workshop, it gets noisy. Going up the stairs, we've got Henry's just showing you down there. Henry's just down there now taking photos, and we've got the extra lighting there for the photo area. This is where we store. So we store both tyres and wheels, and then bits and pieces that we've saved, like about 1 million oil cans, which we do need to use. There's storage as well, so these ramps are just purely for storage. Old tyres, even that's a challenge with a workshop. You've got to keep your tyres dry because they'll not collect them if they're wet, and they've got to be up to about 100 to make it worthwhile collecting. So to get 100 tyres and have them all dry is no easy task. So this is the upstairs. We've got these storage ramps, and then we've got 1 ramp, 2 ramp, 3 ramp, 4 ramp, and the 5th ramp's being delivered and he's getting fitted. I thought it was today, but there's the 5th one in the middle there, but obviously not. So 22 was busy because we moved into the showroom, and 25 was busy because we got the franchise and we got the unit. So I'll not tour the toilets. What we did when we came to the workshop, we put heater and lighting and lots of plug sockets for every single of the benches. There was a lot of water to do, but we've got an outside electric charger on the other side of that wall, and because it's 3-phase, it's 3 times faster. This is Cameron's office and our waiting room. So we've managed to got a few Temu special pictures on the wall, but they do look quite cool. Temu Special XR2. This tool room is too big. Previously known as a potato room, but this is too big really. I mean, it's a good space, but it's bigger than we need. Again, we had to replace that door, so all the walls have been painted. We've had, just like the show, we've had to do all the ceilings and put new lights in, obviously cameras, new electrics everywhere. This is a gearbox from a Golf GTD, DSG gearbox in bits. That's the next job after the Evoque is back together. We'll put heating in all these offices. So this is just a, well, it's a sort of parts room / office for Etienne and Henry. So Henry can upload all his photos. This is, we sit in the morning and have our meetings in here. So we've got the screen set up and the webcam. It's not the best camera, but maybe one day we'll upgrade. Again, all the ceilings have been done. This was only the real structural work that we did. We knocked that, well, I didn't do it. Huey Construction knocked that and made it through into this office. So this is where Louise and I work. So it's a nice little space to be able to have the meeting next door. And then finally, we did the canteen. So again, it's a nice enough kitchen, not as posh as the one in the showroom, but it's nice, it's okay. And we've retained the orange of the walls. So yeah, it's been a busy 4 years. It's been a busy 4 years, and the history really, we had a 22 was relatively easy to sell cars, to be honest. In 22, that was super easy. Then in 23, I probably was ill for at least half a year, which weren't ideal. 24, I'd like to think was more of a sort of consolidation year. The job had started to get tougher, so we just started put our heads down. And then 25, I guess it was a case of what do we do? The job's getting more difficult. It's more difficult to earn profit. What do we do? So we took in the past we'd used Crown Cars in Stocksbridge, Toby, and CM Autos, Matt and Cash in Birdwell. They used to do our prep work, but they've got busy, and they logistically getting cars to and from, but they got busy as well, which is why we've had to get our own ramps and because I think it was something that we wouldn't have been able to keep on top of otherwise. Other companies we deal with, Barnsley Tyres and MOT do a lot of our MOTs for us. We've got Raptivate, Brandon, who does wrapping and black packs and things like that, or unwrapping if a car's got wrap on and want to remove it. And we've got G Motor Body, who do the body shop, who does all our body shop for us. Smart Repair do our dents and any sort of mobile smart work, which we, in honesty, we very, very rarely do mobile smart repair because the work that we get from G Motorbody is that good. It's a hassle having to take them there, but it's worth it, because you know that especially on days like today when it's cold, you just can't guarantee the quality. You can guarantee the quality, you can't guarantee that it's going to last, because when it's damp and cold, you know, it's very difficult to make it consistent. And then we use RS Wheels, who do all our wheel repairs. So there are other people, I apologise if I've not mentioned who they are, but they're the sort of main suppliers and people that we deal with on a regular basis. There's Key Magic who do keys, so there are others, but they're the sort of main ones that we use every month. But yeah, Matt and Cash and Toby at CM and Crown Cars, they'd probably got too busy, so they were at a point where it was difficult for them to keep supporting us. So that's why we had to go ahead and get our own ramps. But what we also found is by doing work in house, we were getting ripped off by garages, not CM and Crown, because they're local and we know them and we trust them. But when we went elsewhere for work, for customer work, we were getting ripped off. So that's one thing that we had to do. We had to protect ourselves as they get busy. We still need work to be done, and it's another revenue centre hopefully if we can get it ticking along correctly. So that was one decision we made, and then the other one was the Skywell. And I suppose from my point of view, I thought that the more, without trying to do everything, because that's not always the right thing to do, but I thought if we can just broaden our horizons and not just have to rely on used cars. So now we've got used cars, we've got the workshop, we've got Skywell, new cars, and one day we can do valeting, detailing as well. That's something that we could take on, but not for now. We're busy enough dealing with our own cars. So 22 was a good year. 23 was an okay year. 24 or 23 into 24 was an okay year. 25 was really difficult, to be honest. That was the most difficult year. So we're now in 26. We've had a good January, thankfully. We're going into we're halfway through February as I'm filming this, and we've not had as good a February. It's slowed down. Normally in January it gets busier and busier and builds into February, into March. It's set off busy and got, if anything, quieter. But there's so many things in our industry and outside of our industry. Outside of our industry, it's the news. There's always bad news. There's always something to put people off. But inside of our industry, there's 2 years ago there was this blooming Finance Commission disclosure issue. Last November there was the Auto Trader issue, which is still dragging on now. So it feels like we just need a good run in this industry. We just need a good run. But from our point of view, we're just still going for it. We're buying cars, we're selling cars, we're servicing cars. We're just going for it. We're not slowing down. We're going for it. We've got a good team around us. We've got to make it work for them and for us. We've got to make it work. So we're going for it. As always, I always say this, but thank you to the people that follow us and that support us and that deal with us regularly and that give us business, and especially the people that have been chasing me. Can you get me a price on this? And I've took ages to get back to you, so I do apologise. It's not been an easy sort of 12 months to it. But thank you to everybody who supports us. It massively helps. We want to build up now followers on social media, on YouTube. So please like, follow, share, subscribe, please, because it really, really, really does help. And just keep working with us, because for sure it's been a tough couple of years, but we feel like we've got the ingredients to go forwards and make it right. And I said this on a previous video, what we've never done is we've never compromised for what customers get. So we're still in that same boat. Recently we had a fault with a vehicle. It cost us £2,000. We needed to be done. We sold the car. It's not a case of like, I don't want to do it. Yeah, of course we don't want to do it, but it needs to be done, because otherwise the car won't be right for the customer. So in light of no matter how tough it's got, we've still done what we think's right on every single time. Thank you. Please subscribe, please share, please like.